All right, I'm here with the man that needs no introduction whatsoever, Mr. Charlie Garner, IO.
Yeah, you
Instant off.
remember that, huh?
Yeah.
That's incredible. That's all Street and Smith covered. They put that up there. I didn't do that.
I got you. Yeah.
But then Gruden picked it up somewhere. I don't know. John always doing something, man. And John Gruden found that and he mentioned it, and he mentioned it in the paper, and it stuck ever since.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, you were so elite. Not only running the ball, but catching the ball out of the backfield too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I owe that to John Gruden for allowing me to go over in one-on-ones while we were doing 9-on-7 drills with the scout team, and he allowed me to work with the ones over there against, Troy Vincent, Bobby Taylor, Brian Dawkins. I mean, the best of the best over there, and it honed my craft. So when I got out there, it just felt natural working against guys that weren't my caliber, which were linebackers and safeties for real.
Yeah, I was looking up, the rosters from not only college but NFL, and the talent that you got to play with and against is, I mean, it's really really good.
Well, like I said, I think the best running back room I was ever associated with was at the University of Tennessee. So when I walked in the locker rooms at the NFL, I was already, I, I knew I belonged because being around Aaron Hayden and James Stewart when I initially got there, Mose Phillips, and then Jay Graham eventually coming in, and those guys being drafted where they were, that let you know right there how progressed our running back room was, and we just went out and went about our work with a daily business as if we supposed to. If our line do their job, we're gonna do our job, and that's what I got when I got there with Little Man and Aaron Hayden for sure, and Mose.
Yeah, that it's I always talk kind of about, some, and you're included, but just some of the running backs that don't get enough credit. And but it is a pretty good point that there was so many good ones. You know what I mean? Like, it's so deep that it's hard to pinpoint,
Well, that's a good thing. That's a good thing about our whole crap because that time, either one of us were premier backs for the team, we would have put up, incredible numbers that, it'd be hard for other guys to touch. But since we were humbled enough to stay and play amongst each other, and we even played intramural basketball with each other, and we won a championship my junior year, and then we lost my senior year to the other football team, and that's Mike Rolo and his team. So it was football on the football, and that's the athletes that we had, and that's the guys that made the sacrifice in order for us to win because we were all around athletes, and we could have done whatever we wanted to do at that point. So, but we just chose to play football and stick around each other, and it wasn't the portal like it is now. So. I mean, but never to say the least, the guys that I played with initially when I first got to the NFL, yeah, Herschel Walker, that was one of my idols when I looked up, when I was even considered going to Georgia. And it was a good thing to be around him. His tutelage was, at that point in time in my career, was exponential. So, I mean, I appreciate what he did for me when I got there because I eventually started my first game when I was healthy enough to play, and he was humble enough to move to fullback. So that showed me sportsmanship from that man right there.
Right. So starting at the beginning. What age were you when you started playing football?
Uh, I probably was in the second grade. Initially, I played soccer. That
Okay.
was my first sport. I mean, I love soccer. And then I eventually moved to football. And then my friend, he challenged me to play basketball, and I challenged him to play football. And then we continued to do both together. And we continued to climb the charts together. We graduated together. We put up numbers at our high school in Virginia together. And I mean, he was Mr. Quarterback. I was Mr. Running back. And it was a beautiful thing. I wish he could have played defense a little more with me because he was a good safety, but I played cornerback as well. And I eventually wound up playing running back, as you know.
Oh yeah. Was it your dream to play, college and professional sports as a kid, or did just kind of?
Well, well, see, I had already skipped the process in my mind. Tell you the truth, I'm just saying. My father was a Cowboy fan. My aunt was a Redskin fan growing up in Virginia. So I was like, I'm gonna play for one of those teams, and that was my aspiration and dreams. And I couldn't really get into John Riggins' style of running, so I got into Tony Dorsett's style of running. and that fit and that suited my style and my size, and that's eventually who I was emulating when I was out there on the field sometimes. And then when I saw, Walter Payton catching the ball downfield, out the backfield, and the game expanding, I knew I needed to expand my game. But those are the initial guys that I looked up to. And yeah, I always thought I was going to be in the NFL, but eventually I was thinking about college, and I actually was going to go to Miami and play defensive back.
Okay. That's I love the Bears. So and my dad, he's a Cowboys fan, or was a Cowboys fan. He don't
What that mean was what happened to him?
I don't think he likes Jerry Jones too much.
Oh, okay.
But
After 20 plus years, I can get it.
But as a kid, he always loved the Cowboys. So I've heard a lot of them stories. You grew up in Falls Church, Virginia. What's Falls Church like?
It's a combination. It's a melting pot of everything and everyone and every culture. I mean, I had the blessings of all cultures and all people to meet in the walks of life, and it was pretty much a blessing for me to grow up, especially the high school I went through, Jeff Stewart, being right there in the smack heart of all of it. And it was pretty decent. I could walk to a McDonald's. I could walk to a Toys R Us. It was pretty easy. I could walk to the game room, and I could go break dance. It was nice.
So named Virginia Player of the Year, rushed for over 2,000 yards and 38 touchdowns your senior year, which is insane. Did you attended Scottsdale Community College in Arizona? Did you have any like big offers right out of high school?
Yeah, like I said, the majority of them were defensive back. Tell you the truth, because I received all those honors my junior year pretty much, and running back was a little secondary to it. It wasn't until my senior year that they tried to take notice to me as a running back, and I fell short of my GP. And when I got to Arizona, the coaches out there, they gave me the opportunity to choose which position I wanted to play. And I asked them, could I play running back for them? And they gave me the opportunity, and there was no looking back.
That's really what I've come the last couple of years to realize is how much of it is opportunity, with kids and sports.
It is, because I took a big risk with that, because, like I said, University of Miami basically guided me out there to play cornerback. So when I chose to play running back, when it was time for me to offer me a scholarship again, they had recanted their scholarship because they said they wanted me as a defensive back, then not a running back. He said, we're going to offer this guy your scholarship. I was like, well, who is this guy? They said Ray Lewis.
Oh, okay.
I said, yeah. I said, I don't know him. He said, but you will. I was like, okay. Thank you, coach. You have a good one. And that was it.
I used to love Ray Lewis. I mean, I still do, but yeah, he was one of him and Brian Urlacher, they were my two linebackers that I really liked.
Yeah, they were tough. They were tough opposition. Yeah, yeah. I had my fair share of wins against them, and they had their fair share of wins against me.
So when at Scottsdale, when did like the big schools, Tennessee, teams like that really start noticing you as a running back?
My freshman year, my freshman year, I really had a dynamic year that year. 9 games, 2,000 yards. It was, and then I had a span of a game of 394, 430, and 316. That's when Sports Illustrated came talking to me, and the news cameras. And we weren't winning. I mean, I'm working my ass off. We weren't winning. I'm serious, boy. That was something different. We weren't winning, but it was fun, man. The camaraderie, man. We was working hard to try, though, man. They had some good teams back then too, man. They had a lot of good players there coming out of Miami, some out of Chicago, and then Phoenix had their few shared guys that stuck around and played ball. So it was good. It was good competition in California. So it was good competition, but at the same time, no, we weren't winning.
Yeah, you set a lot of junior college records, didn't you?
At the time, I believe I had quite a few of them, man. I don't know what's changed since then, but
I got
it
you.
was fun. Junior college woke me up to a lot of life, man. But like I said, I took my visit to USC because I was going to stay on the West Coast, and my mother said I couldn't play on the West Coast anymore, so she wanted me to come closer to home, being from Virginia. So we was going to try to figure that out. And so I said, okay, well, Georgia came calling first, so I said, okay, I'll go to Georgia. I had verbally committed to Georgia. And then I Phil Fulmer sat on my couch and we had a conversation when he came out to Scottsdale. I guess they practiced at their field or something before they played Penn State in the I can't remember which bowl that is at the time right now. Fiesta Bowl. I guess I don't think it was the Fiesta Bowl at the time. That's why I hesitate to say so. But at the bowl in Arizona, let me say that. And he saw some film of me and he wanted to meet with me and he came by my apartment. We sat down and had a conversation and I said, okay, I'll take a visit. And I took a visit and my parents drove down from Virginia and we all thought about what was best for myself and we felt that Tennessee was the best for myself and it was.
Well, I'm glad that you chose Tennessee. I know every Tennessee fan is glad you chose Tennessee. So before we get into kind of your time at Tennessee, you know, high school, J.B. Stewart, they retired your jersey in 2009. What did that mean to you?
It, it it was very significant because from this aspect, I never really wanted that number. And my mother said, make somebody want to wear that number. Because she always challenged me, and that was special, and that's what I appreciated about my mother. May she rest in peace. But she always challenged me to be more myself in the classroom, whether it be on the football field or whether it be a father, whether it be a husband. She was always challenging me to be more, and that's what I miss about her. But yeah, that's what she said. Make somebody want to wear that jersey, and now to the point where they want to allow anyone to wear it. I mean, that's a great honor.
Yes, yeah, that's awesome that all that happened, and yeah, it's awesome how mothers and and fathers both can mold that into somebody. Just
Oh
something,
man,
some,
she instilled. My father said, play hard, son. She said, make somebody want to wear it.
right.
And I don't know where she came up with that line. I don't know how she came about it. And I know it was heartfelt. And she said it, and it was a brilliant choice of words. You know what I mean?
Right. Just short and simple, man.
Hey, man.
A lot behind it though. So 1992, you're a Vol. What were like the big changes? Just from going from Scottsdale to University of Tennessee.
The athleticism that I was faced with in practice on a daily basis, in the competitiveness that I was faced with, and the challenges and the standards that we had to uphold, that was pretty much tough because I I hadn't had it in a couple years because that's what I grew up with in at my high school. I had those standards, and not to say that we didn't have those in Scottsdale. It was just that we were so mediocre that winning a few ball games, it was cause for celebration.
Right.
I get there, yeah, no, absolutely. When I get there, I see championship rings, and I see back-to-back championship rings, and those are standards that was already set. I wanted to be a part of that. I wanted to be a part of a winning tradition. I wanted to be a part of history. I wanted to be a part of the guys that I had met on the road that I became bonded with, that we became family from day one, and we gonna go down together. And that's what happened with me when I got there, and from day one, like I said, a lot of guys that I played ball with, we still friends to this day, man. And I miss and I think about them all the time, even to my man Todd Kelly, because I mean he was the older head on the team, and a lot of guys looked up to him when I first got there as well. And he was from Virginia as well, and he knew I was coming in from Virginia, so he accepted me, put me under his wing, and allowed me to learn from him. And he went first round, so I was trying to look at greatness.
Yeah, you hear a lot of good stories about Todd Kelly, that's for sure.
Absolutely, he's still around there, around those parts too. I have to come see him.
Also, so 1992, Tennessee finishes 9-3, 5-3 in the SEC. Won the Hall of Fame Bowl versus Boston College. Kind of a wild season. That's the year Coach Majors has the surgery. Coach Fulmer, he beats Georgia, beats Florida, and Johnny comes back, finishes 5-3, loses 3 in a row to Arkansas, Bama, and South Carolina. So Tennessee, they decide to kind of end the Johnny Majors era, and promote Philip Fulmer to head coach. Kind of explain like the atmosphere then,
It wasn't really disarray, but it was a lot of what's next.
right.
I mean, we had a lot of men on the team already. Guys that seen adversity, been through adversity. We had already seen Coach Majors go down and Phil step in and then Majors back. So it was just like, can we stabilize and turn this thing into the championship team that we know we are or know we're capable of? And so that was more the perspective for the players. Now, from an outside perspective, I really can't. It probably looked in disarray, but the
Right.
guys that we were so close knit, so together, and so us against the world mentality that it really didn't bother us from that standpoint. And a lot of leadership, I'll have to say, like I said, goes to Heath Schuler at the time as well, and as well as Todd Kelly on the other side. Man, they really kept it together. My running backs as well, James Stewart and Aaron Hayden. So yeah, they kept it together. They kept it together. Chevy, Big Bubba, offensive line, they kept it together. The boys was ready.
That's that's what you got to do, to be, it's all about the team. I think that's kind of
always team. It's
yeah.
always team. But you got to have a coach that understands that too. And at that time, we had assistant coaches that went on and became head coaches because the head coaches was battling that out while the assistant coaches were coaching the team, and they kept us focused on the job at hand, and that's winning the next ball game and being prepared. So you got to get a lot of credit to, like I said, Coach Cutcliffe, man, and Lovey Smith, man, he was over there too, who's coaching in the NFL, man. We had some coaches. We had put a coaching staff together, man. You win some ball games, man. And that's what we had. We had a coaching staff, and we were able to keep it together through that as well.
Yeah, I've got the opportunity to meet Coach Cutcliffe one time. Yeah, he's first class, man. He's good as it gets.
He absolutely is. He's absolutely, yes, he is, man. And I love Cuddy, man.
Yeah,
he was the best thing that happened to me. He gave me an opportunity to run that ball eventually at Tennessee, because it was hard for me to crack into those top two right there. Boy, those boys were running the ball, and man, it was hard to get a rotation. It was hard, man. But they promised me a rotation. I was like, at least let me get a series. It was hard, boy. Those boys was good.
Yeah, doing research on you and stuff. That's like one of the main things a lot of writers talk about is like he started over James Littleman Stewart.
But no, like the 7th or 8th grade, somewhere in my junior year. I may have got more carries throughout the game or something, but they wouldn't allow me to start. I don't know what that was about, but at the same time, me and James was battling back and forth, and that was the competitive spirit about us, man. That was so great though, man, because they sent him one time to sub me out because we had got close to the goal line, and that's what they always did. They would pull me out, right? So I said, "Nah, I'm not coming out."
Oh, okay. I love it.
James Stewart, he started cussing me out. Yeah. Schuler, he looking at me. All the offensive linemen, they looking at me. The clock running down. They sent Aaron in there. I said, I'm not coming out. I'm serious. You can ask any of them. Oh, it was hilarious.
I love it, man.
He gave me the ball. I scored a touchdown finally. I was like, thank you. I have to take matters in my own hand. But I did, man. Hey, look, man. Phil was so hot with me, man. That's the only second time I made Phil mad at him. That's the second time though. That's the only second time. You know what I mean? I got the first unsportsmanlike conduct celebration in the end zone in the SEC.
Okay. Okay.
That time, Beckford had to kick a, 35, 40-yard field goal.
Yeah.
I mean, PAT. So Phil cussing me out there. He mad at me. But I tried not to make Phil mad at me, man, because he the first volunteer that, I ever met in my life, man. He's sitting on the couch and he's a long-time volunteer. So I know his heart was in the right place. And, he know how I was too, because he was in my apartment. He saw my apartment. So that's what I'm saying. He saw my apartment. I didn't get a chance to clean up. I wasn't expecting him knocking at the door.
Yeah, it's I think that's kind of a good recruitment strategy in a way, but from
Man,
his
a
part.
surprise.
Yeah.
A surprise just knocked on my door. I was like, oh my God. I looked around. I was like, well, come on in, coach. What else could I say? Come on in, coach.
Yeah, what did you say to somebody like that? So
But
not
listen, he never let me move off campus.
Oh, he wouldn't let you?
No. I said, man, I have an apartment. I had an apartment. You're gonna keep me in the dorm the whole time. I was like, all right, Phil, all right, coach. I said, I understand too. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say too, being his, first year as head coach and stuff like that, the pressure was on him, so he was probably super strict then.
Yeah, he was. He was a lot strict. I mean, but at the same time, he let me wear my beard for the first time too. I told him, I said, I'm tired of shaving real light. I need to wear my beard a little. So he let me wear my beard a little. It was a give and take. If you gonna keep me in that dorm room, at least let me grow my beard back. For real. You couldn't. They was making them dry shave when I got there. I was like, what? Didn't nobody tell me about this? You got to be clean shaven. And I'm not saying that I'm a rebel in that cause, but I was like, I was a young man at that time, and my face would break out. So man, I would just rather have my little hair on my face and line it up nicely. I kept it nice,
Right.
and that's what he knew that, so I did that, and he allowed me to take my picture in my beard.
Okay.
But like I said, I was going to there they was getting me clinical stuff to keep my shaving, my bumps down. I was like, y'all can cause harm to my skin over this, bro. Hey, taking that helmet back and forth off through that heat, man, it was making my face raw. I couldn't have my face looking like.
When I was in the Army, I had friends that, obviously I have to shave every day, and it would do that to them. And I'm like, how does that look better than just a little bit of,
Oh man, so you know what I'm talking about, because
yeah,
I had a few friends in junior college who looked that way. I was like, I refused that. That looked like it could be problems later on.
yeah, especially over time. I mean, scarring or anything.
Anything. Yeah, you said it, but yeah, but Phil helped me out from that standpoint, man, and I appreciate him to death, because he knew I was really trying to leave my junior year. I wanted to have the best year and get out of there, because I was really trying to take care of my family. But yeah, he allowed me to, think about it, and shoot, I love him, man. I miss him, man. He's a good man. He's a great guy. Took care of me like he said he would, because eventually he said one of these days I'll be the head coach. I didn't know it was gonna be the next year.
I got you. Yeah, I don't think anybody. And there's still
I didn't know it was going to be the next year. Neither did he. Neither did he. But he spoke it into existence, and I was there with him. He said, "You need to play behind my offensive line. You'll see what you can do behind it." I was like, "Okay."
Yeah,
And he said his offensive line.
it was a good one, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah. You got a few guys that go to the NFL. You got a good line.
Oh, for sure. 1993, you go 10-2, 7-1 in SEC. Coach Fulmer's first year as a head coach. Do you have a favorite game? Just to, as far as memories go or anything, or
Not to the point where I have a favorite game. I have a lot of great moments that I think about individually and
right?
then collectively as a team. Because when we were in Florida and we weren't making any plays at all, I mean, Billy and Heath were on fire. I mean, Flim wasn't able to play that game because he was cramping up, man. But Billy Williams and Heath Schuler, man, they kept us in that game the whole game, man. That was a beautiful moment, man. We lost the game eventually, though, by 5 points down in the swamp. But we would have never had a chance if it wasn't for Billy Williams. And, the defense, stepped up and made a few plays for us eventually. For me personally, I guess my first year will be when Phil took over and when we went into LSU. And there was an ESPN game, and I hadn't really got a chance to touch the ball. And that was the first time I was able to touch the ball a few times. And I had a good game. Like I said, I didn't score a touchdown. I wasn't gonna get allow me to get a touchdown that year, but it allowed me to touch the ball. And there was a night game in Death Valley. And Smokey, when we were on our way out, he was barking at the Tiger. I said, "Oh yeah, I like this. Man. I love this. For real, I love this because that they try to put that Tiger right there to intimidate you. The night game, Smokey come out barking. I was like, oh yeah, it's on because we had already won into Athens. That was a good game. ABC. I didn't get carry the ball that much, but now Florida had already been in there. I'm looking at the big games. I was like, this is what I signed up for. I love it. And that's what the guys are starting to experience again with Tennessee and winning. Yeah, this is what you signed up for. Yeah, this is what you wanted to be a part of. You wanted to be a part of these big games, these big moments, and you want to win them. And yeah, and that was a big moment for us going into Death Valley. Yeah, they were ranked pretty high as well, and we went in there, and just demolished them 20-0.
Yeah, it's even speaking of Death Valley, this year we went down to that one, and just seeing us just dominate them the way we did, it was
we absolutely dominated. But they always say they play different at night, so that's the whole hype about that situation. Yeah, we played at night, and it was no we put that work together. It was fun.
Do you in your opinion, is it crazier down there at night than it is at Neyland, or
never?
Okay.
Never.
Yeah, Neyland is
never.
We've
never. Well, we never gave them a chance to get excited anyway. I mean, from the opening kickoff, they were excited, but other than that, we slammed the door. But
yeah,
that's why varsity. When you bring 100,000 people to their feet, if they just humming, it's gonna be loud. And that's not what we doing.
Right. Yeah, we've been a little bit everywhere, and I try not to look like, I really try not to be biased or look through orange colored glasses, but there's really nothing like Neyland. There's really not.
And no one understands until they've been. And a lot of my friends that really weren't Tennessee fans that would just love me. They got their respective teams wherever they're from, whether it be Florida, whether it was New York or wherever, when they came to see me play at Tennessee. But they say the same thing. It's nothing like it.
Right.
And Sterling wasn't even playing then.
Oh, really?
Sterling Pearl was still DJing for his fraternity when I was there.
I love that dude.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, Sterling was still spinning for his, the parties. Now he wasn't spinning for us like that. But that's a good thing that he's doing that. I mean, it's an incredible situation. And then I see the renovations, the additions that they're about to put together.
It's beautiful, man. Danny White is he's the man.
Yeah, he's pulling it off in all sports too. That's what I said. I said, man, we winning in everything again.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know the time where as a whole that we've been this, like every sport, we're solid, man.
I mean, we were nice in track when I was there, basketball. Not this good though, no. But we had, Allen Houston.
Yeah, he was amazing.
Yeah, we had him for 1 year when I was there, but it was amazing to watch him. And when Penny Hardaway came there, that was a duo. That looked man, that was good basketball. You see, then you turn around and see Allen and Shaq go against each other.
Yeah.
It was some good basketball back then. But yeah, it would definitely have some good football because like I said, Heath Schuler, I put him against anyone. You know, Eric Zaire felt it.
Yeah, I've got his jersey hanging. It's actually the Hall of Fame bowl jersey hanging over there. I'll show it to you here in a second. But yeah, my dad
Yeah,
loved
he.
it. Yeah, I'll whenever we're not or after this I can flip it out. I can edit it out.
Oh man, no worries, man. Yeah, you gotta let me see that, man. 21, man.
Let's see. Yeah, there it is. I don't know. Can you see it like right above that lawnmower over there?
Oh, I see it way over there. Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's got
Wow.
the Hall of Fame logo, the bowl or whatever on the back.
Oh,
I think it was actually the practice
that's the
jersey.
College Hall of Fame. That's the College Hall of Fame.
Yeah. I think it was the
What
Hall.
year did he go in? What year did he go in?
No, it's the Hall of Fame bowl jersey. The practice jersey. Yeah, that's
I know what you're talking about now.
yeah. So
All right, all right,
I've
all
got
right.
it hanging, and yeah, I got a football. It's on one of them shelves. That Dad got. He actually had him. I guess I was like 1 or 2 years old then, and Dad had me on his shoulders, and he got that autographed football for me. So
Where in 93 or 94?
I think that was '93. I think I'm pretty sure. I have to double check with him. Do you ever?
Which
And this
game was it after?
I don't remember that. I'll have to ask and see. I'll have to ask Dad and see.